But that's all right. It's me and you. We got a special kind of friendship.
I'm not your friend.
Sure you are. Fishing buddy?
All right, we're here. I go, okay, I'm hitting start, and Shenotski just starts talking. I'm like, I just hit start. Like, what are you doing? Nobody listens to me. Anyway.
Do we need a gag for him?
No, he's fine. I just like to tease him. Six is here today, along with Shenotski, to talk about this series, Pluribus. And one of the things that people notice, of course, there's a number 1 in the word pluribus. And it's a play on the word pluribus, which is with many are one.
E pluribus unum.
One
yes.
are many.
Et unus pluribus, the American.
It's our little e pluribus unum. Yeah. And so there's a play on that with this because of the way how this virus acts, and that those that aren't infected by this alteration to the genetic code seem to not be impacted, which is something that I've talked about. Six works in the medical field. She knows what I'm talking about, that there's always this thing that's referred to as that 1 percentile. And it varies from how much there is in that percentile. But basically, one of the theories has always been that with viruses, there will always be a percentage that is either A, immune, or B, become infected but never get sick. And so they're just a carrier of the disease.
And 13 people worldwide is not that much. That's like next to
it's really not. It's kind of odd that it's that few to me. But again, this isn't really a disease. It is an alteration of our genes. They're splicing.
That opens them to the joining.
Yep. But so Six is here. Hi, Six.
So you're muted if you're trying to talk.
Damn it. Hi, Gerry. Thank you so much for letting me come on.
Don't warn her. Don't warn her. It'll be funny. Like, why is nobody reacting to? Oh, I'm muted.
It's not like that never happened to you, Gerry.
No, it's happened. It's happened. It happened yesterday. But and we got Shenotski here. These are two people who have actually watched the show and liked the show, I'm assuming, and had the same kind of reaction to it that we had, which is, this is really good science fiction. This is the kind of science fiction I like something that just comes out of left field. And of course, you got a guy who is trained by Chris Carter. Yeah, in how to write this kind of stuff while he worked on X-Files. And look what he did. He moved off and he did Breaking Bad. Then he did the spin-off series, Better Call Saul. And now he's doing this, a science fiction series, going back to his roots. And he created something I think is incredible. I was really nervous because you and I were talking about this before the show, Six, that a lot of us have become gun shy to the girl boss thing that everybody seems to fucking want to do. And they drove it into the ground to where now it's like the minute you see a woman front and center on a poster, you're like, oh God, it's going to be more of the crap. But I always am willing to take a risk if I know who the director and writer is. Otherwise, I wait and hear what other people think. It's like, people I trust, because there aren't that many that I trust for reviews.
Well, I don't think that everybody is trying to do girl boss. I think that everybody sees anything that has a female in it is going back to high school when they got stood up on prom night and they get pissed off because, oh my God, they put a woman in it. How dare they? And then they see they automatically assign girl boss. I see that quite a bit.
I'm not going to argue that. I know it's not that way with me. Personally, I like. I've like had so many female bosses that I thought were the best in my career, whether it was medical field or in the corporate world. I liked. In fact, one of my favorite officers was a female, Lieutenant Bose. She was my XO in the Army, and I really liked her. So I've never really had a problem with actual female bosses. What I have a problem with is when people misuse it and create something that has a false bit of information about a character that's not believable. When they become unbelievable, I have problems with unbelievable characters who are perfect, which they refer to as Mary Sue's, but Mary Sue's are both male and female. Like Will Wheaton was a Mary Sue in Star Trek Next Gen. And these are characters that always have the fucking answers. They're perfect. They don't need any training. They just come out of the womb ready to kill everything that's bad and fix everything and make men. You know, they tend to emasculate men in these shows or films where they've done it. And I know the ones that have done it. But just because you have a female lead doesn't mean you're going to have woke girl boss crap.
Right.
This show is proof of it because the central character, though Anima was talking about it for the show, that originally it was supposed to be a guy. It was the actor you said from Air Force One.
Yeah. The guy who takes advantage of all that shit, and he owns Air Force One now and resides in a casino, palace, hotel, whatever in Vegas, and has them reenact Bond scenes with him. But he realized pretty quickly, this is getting boring pretty quickly, so we need something else. And like Gerry said, he's worked with her before on Better Call Saul, and he really likes working with her, so Carol was created. She's
a fantastic actor. In fact, she's what made that show so good to me. Don't get me wrong, I loved all the other characters. But Carol, the character she played in Better Call Saul is absolutely one of the most interesting characters, and she has the best moment at the end of the series where she gets to give the look to the main character and end on a happy note. She gives us that feeling of hope at the end of Better Call Saul, because Saul goes to prison and he's never going to get out, but that's what she's working on. She will not give up until she gets him out of prison. And that last look she gives him lets you know she's going to get him out of prison. She'll figure it out.
You know, this is my first introduction to Vince Gilligan. I never watched. Oh no, that's not true. I've seen X-Files. Well, yeah. I haven't seen the Better Call Saul and
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, the Breaking Bad. Never watched any of them. They weren't didn't appeal to me. But I'm loving this guy.
His writing is so solid. It's like I can't find a flaw in his writing. He doesn't allow you to have logic issues. I will think I found a logic issue, and then I'll go, nope, he thought about this. And it's just, God, he's so fucking smart with his writing.
And everything means something. Like when you get this flashback where she mentions in that ice cave, she might as well have saved the money on freezing her eggs and done it right there by sitting on the bed. This is not just an anecdote. This is going to come into play, and that's what I love about him.
Everything matters.
Yeah, everything is a clue.
I love when a writer does that.
Yeah, there's no accidents in the show.
Quentin Tarantino would throw this fucking dialogue in his movie. It's like it's fucking spaghetti against the wall. And it's like, yeah, groovy dialogue, but it really isn't pushing the story forward. You need to push your story forward. That's what the dialogue is for. And Vince Gilligan does that. His scenarios, his setups. And the other thing I love about him, unlike most of your J.J. Abrams acolytes, he sets stuff up and he pays it off later.
Well,
constantly.
I've seen interviews where he talks about it's not that actually that he has a basic plan, but he doesn't like have everything worked out because he likes to discover things as it goes. But one of the rules they have with everything is that we have to treat it as if this all was planned out. In other words, anything that we set up and established, we have to remember we have to pay off. And the good example of that is in Better Call Saul, they had all these throwaway jokes that they had Steve Odenkirk's character say in Breaking Bad. And they realized they now had to do those things. And they did. And they had to work their ass off to do it. They didn't just go, oh, well, he was lying. No, we're going to have this stuff actually pay off, even though most people wouldn't care. But we care because we actually care about writing.
Well, Anima, I want to ask you, because you seem like you've done some digging into the show in the background and all that. Do we know if they have an ending already written, or are we going to end up in like with the TV show Lost? Didn't that show get started without an ending planned? They don't have an ending planned.
They got greenlit for season 2, but Gilligan himself said they are in no hurry to piece season 2 together. So apparently they just started writing it recently, which is why some people are really getting like gloomy and saying, yeah, it's going to be at least 2027, end of 2027 for us to get season 2, because they are in no hurry.
What?
So they're just making it up as they go along. He started with an idea and now they're developing it, which sucks because waiting time.
I do think that he has a general idea of where he wants the show to go. But he's going to keep it close to the breast. I don't think that Vince Gilligan starts something without an idea of where it's going to go. So I absolutely believe he has a general idea of what he wants to have happen. But he's also one of those guys that likes to ride along the way. And so,
the input of his team.
Yeah.
I have an idea of how it will end. And I've talked to Gerry about this, if you guys want to hear.
Yeah, because I'll clip it, and then if you're wrong, I'll throw in your face. No,
That's why we love you.
What I think's going to happen, I think they're going to nuke the atmosphere at the end.
Do an EMP.
For a variety of reasons. Because when you nuke the atmosphere, that fills it with radiation, and that disrupts electronic communications, including signals. And a very important thing I found when I was researching into it is the result of that also, the Aurora Borealis appears all over. Like they did, I forget what the exact operation was done, but they did it like over Hawaii. The sky was like glowed for, I think 6 minutes. And then Aurora Borealis was seen all over the world because they sent that much radiation over. And he even knocked out satellites. So I think that in the end of it, whatever signal is controlling everyone is actually the signal that's from space somehow.
Okay.
I'm a little more brutal than you, Shenotski, because Gerry came up with the EMP thing too, because their project, all they have to do, aside from surviving as long as they can, is build that giant satellite disk that's the size of Africa to keep transmitting the signal. So if she can't save the population by undoing the joining, her job would be to destroy that satellite disk. But I would just drop the A-bomb on that. I wouldn't go for
I
EMP
still have
whatever.
a problem.
Just drop it and be done.
I still have a problem with the A-bomb thing because the code that's on that crate is Sky. It's for Sky shipments, specific kinds of Sky shipments. And I'm wondering, that's really small. And we don't make bombs. We make warheads. So if there is the chance it's not a warhead at all, and that she was speaking metaphorically, which is something that I'm open to, that she says it's a nuclear bomb. But is that literally what it is? Is it more figurative? Is she being metaphorical that it's a nuclear bomb? I don't know. I really don't know.
She has a nuclear solution to this. But it's not necessarily an A-bomb, yeah.
I agree, Gerry. I don't think that there's an atom bomb in that. I mean, it could be a lifetime supply of Hot Pockets or something, but I think she was being sarcastic.
Maybe fusible material, but a nuke's going to be used because they've brought it up several times in the series, including, for the keynote action at the very end. So it's
we know that this dish they're going to make is going to be the size of the northern part, not the Horn of Africa. It's going to be gigantic, continent size. To send this signal off, into space, and they're going to have to do something about that to stop it. The other thing that was brought up by one of the channels that Anima and I agree on, and I like this chick's assessment. Do you remember her name? It's really, really something. It's like real spelled like movie reel. And she does really good breakdowns. The rest of the guys that do these shows about Pluribus are so fucking annoying. They're getting way off in the weeds with what they're talking about. And
they're overthinking it, yeah.
Way overthinking.
Finding things to interpret stuff into that are just nothing. So, yeah.
So I do know this. I trust Vince Gilligan to give us really good payoffs, because one thing you find throughout his history of work, because a lot of people don't know that, yes, he did work on the X-Files, which he did like some of the best episodes, like Pusher, Bad Blood, Folie à Deux, and Drive are some of the best episodes that he oversaw and wrote and for the series. But he also was the co-creator of The Lone Gunman, which was a series that Fox completely fucked. They did not stick by him. And that's the problem I hate about Fox, that they don't stick by their shows. They'll go, oh, if we don't immediately get a response to this, we're going to screw you out of your deal. And so they were forced to kill the gunman at the end of the series. One season.
Am I the only one who kind of goes, I get some Black Oil vibes, only this is it where it actually kind of makes sense?
Well, look, what he's using is something that's been used. In fact, I just showed Anima an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents with Steve McQueen. That was about an alien invasion, but you don't know it until the end of the episode. And, Steve McQueen plays this reporter, journalist, that goes to talk to this guy in a bar that claims to be a Martian. So he goes there, talks to him. By the end of the episode, he's killed the guy because he and his boss at the magazine are both part of an invasion force from Mars. And it's still in that kind of vein of storytelling, that the way they invaded Earth in this story wasn't by sending ships, but by leaving their bodies on Mars and pushing a button that sent them through space as a signal. And then that signal ended up in somebody's body and took over their brain as the master signal.
And that's possible because they don't rot.
Yep.
They just shrivel up, kind of. I don't know. It was weird.
Crazy. It's a weird episode, but I really like it. And I have it. If either of you guys want to see it, I can share it with you after the show.
Well, yeah, it's just because the black oil was a sentient virus.
Yeah.
And so is, whatever this bacterium is in some way or form. There might be like a hive mind somewhere, and it's just Wi-Fiing, for lack of a better term.
Well, in my opinion, this isn't an alien. It is alien created. This is not like an invasion. At first I thought, is this going to be your classic prep the world for an invasion? But I don't think that's what's going on here.
You don't do that by killing off the population. And that's what they're doing. Yeah,
and what they're doing is they're altering the DNA to where you are on an immediate countdown. The moment you are infected, you're on a countdown to oblivion. It's happening. It could take decades, but it will happen. The human species will die off. They're not going to proliferate. The only babies that are born were born at the beginning of this. If you were pregnant, you could still have your baby.
But no new babies.
No new babies. Not going to be doing that.
By the way, I don't know if they're going to do this, but wouldn't it be terrifying if it turned out the noise on the signal was the sound of 6 billion people screaming?
Oh, yeah. That's creepy.
And that's what's going on. And that's what Manusos has found, is he now knows the signal and that they communicate through
the frequency. Yeah.
And what you're learning now is there are ships, and it's been mentioned throughout the series, there are ships offshore that relay this signal around the world.
What?
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that.
That is what's brought up when she's talking about the ice cream.
The mango ice cream when she was little.
All I remember, is, and she brings up the ships again. And this is something that's brought up earlier. And you actually see some of this too. You see a ship out there, and they have the conning towers, and these are relays. And I'm understanding what they're doing. I understand the technical aspect of what they're doing in this show, that how it's spreading and how they're staying in contact with one another, because you can't have that signal here and it be overseas too, because how's it getting there? It's getting there through relays, and they're
One
using
other
ships
thing.
on the ocean. What's that? And
Oh, with
satellites, I'm sure.
Vince Gilligan, do you know he has a cameo in the series?
Frozen head.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Yep, it's his frozen head. They took a scan and they made a head.
For where? I don't remember that.
In the factory where she discovers all the dead.
Oh,
bodies.
okay.
Yeah.
The head she looks up is Vince Gilligan's head.
How did they infect the astronauts on the space station? Because about a month following the joining, it's mentioned that the astronauts, because Carol asks Zosha, and she says yes, that the astronauts they're part of the joining.
Well, they've
probably
been
sent someone up.
dealt with first, even before the rats were infected. They had the astronauts already, because apparently they were an easy target being out there, and just like maybe 4 of them.
But how did they spread the virus?
They never specified that.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like, I'm assuming they brought them down and then sent them back up. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just
Because the only reason why
was
they're
something.
still in
Carol.
space is
Yeah.
in order to make sure that the signal is not interrupted. I'm
Okay.
assuming. The only reason they need them in space is for that reason and reason only. What is
So
this,
maybe they infected them and then sent them up. Well, they must have, because they made such a big deal about spreading the virus through spit. So
she's watching the show The Pit, and yeah, so you got the front door, or I got the front door, you get the back. I remember that.
Gary, have you watched The Pit?
Yeah, I got pissed watching it because they got
because of
political
the
with it.
inaccuracies.
Well, it's not just the medical stuff, because I got annoyed at that too.
Yeah, I figured
I'm
you
like, and I even told Anima when I was watching, I went, that will never fucking happen in an ER. Won't fucking happen.
Yeah.
But then they got into this political diatribe that pissed me the fuck off. It's like, one, you would never, nobody in the ER would fucking involve themselves that way. You get reprimanded for that shit, giving your politics up. You don't do that. People don't understand just how professional medical people are, and how they have to constantly be considerate of the people that they're dealing with, because 90% of the people you're going to deal with aren't going to have the same fucking views as you. So you got to leave that out. It's out of the picture. It's not there. And when you start bringing politics into the ER, you're going to have fucking problems. And that was my problem with the show, is the excess bad procedural stuff. And I mean, ER is so much better than this show. Someone said, "Oh, it's as good as ER." And I'm like, the fuck it is.
No, it's not.
Did you ever even watch the show? Christ, man. My favorite episode of ER was how quickly pathogens get past, with the fat guy when he's not fucking washing his hands, and they put dye out there for him to touch things. And so they begin following with the UV light what he's been touching. And this is how disease gets spread in an ER.
I remember how shocked I was when I saw that episode.
That episode was great.
By the way, in this, I do appreciate they went to as a level 4 biocontainment lab. And the only reason it got out is because no virus we've ever dealt with possesses people.
Yeah, well, she would never do it. She did. That was like one of my big problems with this show. Patient Zero did something you don't do in a fucking biolab. She untethered herself and undid her fucking glove to where all she has is her fucking rubber glove.
Yeah, because
It's
you
like,
work with
what are you
living
doing?
creatures, rats in that case, and you don't have a fucking stethoscope nearby? Fuck off.
Yeah, where was the stethoscope? Yeah, I know. That was the only thing that annoyed me. past that, the fact is, even with some of that stuff, you could still get bitten, you know.
I knew there was going to be stuff going on in there that wasn't going to be right, but my love for particularly the first half of this season was enough to like, I didn't even care. I just thought this is so cool. So
Yeah,
it
3
didn't bother
episodes
me
I
too
was
much.
hooked. 3 episodes I was hooked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is really good sci-fi, period. This whole scene here is so horrifying because as a medical person, I'm screaming, don't move her like that. What are you doing? You know, you're
The
killing
sound
her.
her skull makes when she falls backwards, you know something's wrong.
And
Cracked like an egg.
some dipshit said that the raccooning around the eye was caused from the infection. I'm like, I wrote down, I'm like, look, dude, I've done a lot of dealing with head trauma, and I can just simply say you have no clue what the fuck you're talking about.
That's a basal skull fracture.
Yeah,
but
when you see raccooning like that, there's head injury.
Head trauma.
Yeah.
By the way,
you've got an internal head trauma. It's coming from inside the skull and working its way around the eyes.
By the way, that restaurant they were shooting at, you know what's right outside it? Walter White's tombstone.
Yeah, I
they
think there's a lot of
one.
throwbacks.
Yeah.
A lot of Easter eggs and stuff from Walter White.
Yeah, well, he's kind of like maybe saying it's all one universe.
But then I've heard
you
them
can actually see it.
But then I heard that they keep saying it's not. We swear it's not the same universe. It's not the same universe.
It could be. It doesn't matter.
There's just some Easter eggs.
I wouldn't even know. But I mean, I know that obviously the shows are completely different. But as somebody who, I'm a huge fan of Pluribus, do you think I would enjoy Breaking Bad? Everything I know about Breaking Bad, I would not enjoy that show.
Well, Anima feels the same.
But yeah.
I'm like, what you have with that show isn't so much what the criminals are doing. It is the character studies. These are interesting people. Like, I hated the kid, Jesse Pinkman, the first 2 seasons. I wanted him to die. But then 2 seasons in, I'm like, he's starting to grow on me. As Curly would say in the Three Stooges, like mold. But I started liking Jesse because you began to see who Jesse was. And to heck with his wigga way of talking, the guy was absolutely an interesting person. He had his own ideas about things. And when he falls in love with, what's her name? The bee from Don't Trust the Bee from Apartment 3, that actress. He was
his
really
first
good.
girlfriend.
Yeah, he's like in love with her, and then she ends up vomiting from the heroin, and you see a character that so far you've really liked do the darkest, most evil thing in the world. He watches her die and does nothing to help her, while Jesse Pinkman's going to be destroyed by this shit. And suddenly I found myself completely committed to these characters, all of them. And we had even more new characters that came in, like, Saul Goodman, the lawyer. I fucking love that show. But I loved Better Call Saul more. And she's part of the reason why, because I really liked her character. And that there was this central love story. Because really, what you watch with the first film is character deconstruction, and then reconstruction, and then deconstruction. And you're watching somebody dying, decide to break bad to get the money in order to save his life because he has cancer. That's what you see. And then that character suddenly becomes a villain by season 2. He's a bad guy. And he gets kind of worse and worse. And then you get to the finale of the season, final season. And he goes out in a blaze of glory to rectify all the wrongs that he felt he has done. And one of them is to save the person he fucked over the most, which is Jesse Pinkman's character. And that final episode was worth the price of admission for me. I love that ending. And that ending kind of came out of nowhere. Because again, he had a general idea where he wanted to go, but he ended up like taking so many different routes to get there that it changed, it evolved with him, the ending. And I felt it was a great ending to the series.
I put, and this is an odd way to say, but I think Breaking Bad ultimately is about identity, and in particular, the Jungian shadow. And if you think of it in those terms, they are actually two sides of the same coin. Breaking Bad is about the shadow consuming the person, or the alter ego just like subsumes, takes over, and destroys the original. And Better Call Saul is about inevitably integrating, which is why the series ends that way. Saul becomes a whole person. It has a good ending.
Yeah, he's a person by the end.
Yeah.
And what's even better is that she never gave up on him. And I love that. I love the ending of Better Call Saul. I do want to address this. Bumpy, first of all, hi, Bumpy. I haven't said hi enough to you guys. So let's see who's all here right now. We got Gambit, Snorty. Sally is here. Shirley is here. Outlaw Bill is here. I hung out with him a little bit last night. E. Clay Thomason, Penny, Bumpy Johnson, Daryl. I'm assuming that's Daryl Brewer.
Yep.
And Christian Fandom Geek is here. But Bumpy, if the alien can't lie and a grenade has been provided, then it's probably a nuke. Not necessarily. But yes, I think she may have thought of something better than an atomic bomb. I'm leaving that open to the fact she may have thought of something that's more dangerous to them than an atomic bomb. Don't know what it is.
She ensured that if she were to order a bomb, she would get it. When she talks with that guy in the hospital after Sosha gets injured by the grenade, that is a real grenade, which she didn't believe at first. So she knows now she would get anything, even after the grenade incident. The
one thing I wanted to address is they're not aliens. They're altered human beings. They are still human beings biologically. They've just been genetically altered to be in tune with this frequency. And it's freaky. By the way, we see a truck like this later with Zosha. And if you look on the side of the truck, I didn't catch it the first time. It's a dairy truck.
Oh, is it?
They're loading the bodies into this truck, and it's a dairy truck. And later you find out that they use the dead bodies to create a protein that they can consume to get enough nourishment.
Yeah.
It is,
and she thought that was going to be the big reveal. She goes all the way to Vegas and tells him, because they're eating people, and he's like, yeah,
he already knows.
Actually, they're drinking.
She's angry.
People.
Yep.
John Cena told me
into a drink. John Cena, that's right. That's one of the most bizarre moments in the show. What is this here? What if the point of Pluribus is that the virus itself defeating, and thus after depleting a planet of life, it must go to the next planet, not malicious? Well, I think somewhere in there is the point of the show, which is some people, because we were talking about this on the UFO show, which is called the Dark Forest Principle, which is like, if there's all this life out there, why is the galaxy so quiet? And I think it's because everybody is practicing the Dark Forest Principle, which is it's best to be in the woods and not be known than to be known and seen, because you don't know what the rest of the universe wants.
That only works to a point, because when you get sufficiently advanced enough technology, just think about what we've determined about planets just from analyzing the spectrometers of light coming from planets and stars. So
well, I don't agree with that, because just as soon as you hit like your technological apex, there may be older societies, civilizations than you that are even further advanced. That is always going to be a concern. Hence the Dark Forest Principle, because you don't know if there's a more advanced life out there than your own. And if you're sentient, you should be afraid.
I think that's maybe what they're trying to do, is to prevent a more advanced. Like,
there you go.
Once we
wipe
get
all sentient life
once
out.
we get to the point where we can figure out the signal, translate it, create the virus, then they figure, well, these people are getting close enough to
They're on the countdown
to being a threat. So
yeah, they're on the countdown now, and no longer going to be a threat to the rest of the universe. And I think that might be what this is. This might be a birth control pill to sentience.
oh, that's a good way to put it. I like that, Gerry.
You're welcome. Sometimes I'm smart.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Don't let it get to you.
And a lot of people think that.
Anima.
Yeah, she won't let me. She won't let
We
me.
need to get him grounded.
So a lot of people think, that when she has one of these outbursts, that people just have a stroke and fucking die. And I'm like, that's not really what happens here. Not that that isn't possible, but a majority of the people were probably doing something when they had the seizure, and they probably fell and fucking died, because falling
That's
for a human
exactly
being
what happened. Yeah.
is really deadly. But a lot of people aren't understanding that. They're thinking that, oh, they're having a stroke and dying. It's like, no, even though a small percentage might do that, a majority of the people that are dying are because they were in an airplane, they were driving, they were standing next to a cliff, or the edge of a building.
Or
And
like Helen
the
just happened to fall backwards because she joined, but she died of her injuries because Carol moved her.
Yeah.
I don't know if we
think
entirely know if she died of her injuries or if she willingly just did not go with it and just died.
No, she joined. They have all the information.
Yeah, because
But
she
she couldn't-
smiled at Carol
Yeah,
right
she couldn't
before she
survive her head
died,
injury
kind of
because Carol
indicating
moved
that
her.
she was part of, and that's how they know everything about Carol.
Yeah,
They know everything that Carol's girlfriend knew.
Yeah,
They
anything
know
she knew,
everything the people that tried to convert her know too, which is scary.
I don't think they're evil, Christian. I don't. I think they're
Ignorant.
neutral of giving a shit about anything. I don't think they really care. That it's like they say they love and they care, but yet they won't go out of their way to do something. Like they say they won't even pick an apple off a tree. They have to rely on it falling off the tree for them to be able to eat it. And I'm like, well, you understand by your neutrality, other things are going to die because of you, animals that you claim to care about. Like the goat. That's what the whole thing with the goat was about. When she got up and walked away, the girl that was changed, they did worked with her DNA, were able to create a version of the virus so she could become infected. She does, she smiles, she gets up, and the goats and other animals are set free. And it's like, well, what the fuck are they going to do? I said, what did I tell you on the first episode? I said, every single fucking Shih Tzu, Pomeranian, Chihuahua is fucking dead. They are going to be food for the other animals now. They can't care for themselves. I said, so their goodness is really at question here. I don't think they're actually, trying to actively be evil, but by their neutrality, there is a form of evil where you just don't care and you let everything die.
It's not caring. They have their purpose, which is build the satellite dish and continue sending the signal within the time that you have. And other than that, they just function, which makes it even scarier when that Peruvian girl joins. They all play family. They keep village life up until she has the seizure after breathing in the virus, and then they drop the act all of a sudden.
Yeah.
They don't love anyone. They just want them to convince to join. And the love, quote unquote, that they feel is just being united, and just because they have this one goal.
But
Nothing
why do they want the 12 to join? I mean, there's only 12, so I don't understand why they're working so hard.
They have to care for them. They can't just let them die. And it's easier if they join.
But the resources that they put in to keeping these people alive, it just seems
will run out eventually.
Part of their programming, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Whatever organism they infect, they have to convert all. That's as far as I can tell.
Well, it's either convert them or let them die. But
hi, Zach.
By the way, Zach's has been a member for 50 fucking months, man. You know what that tells me? That he has had a steady job. This is when I fucking cracked up. Fucking Air Force One. It's like, yeah, if I could demand anything at all, I would want Air Force One, because that thing has more stuff on it than you will even know. You could run a fucking planet in the air from that thing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I find this character to be repulsive. The women.
Oh, his character is very repugnant.
I just
yeah.
thought it was disgusting.
Well, he's the whole thing of like, he just goes along with it going, this is great. And like, not really, but you know, there's always going to be a person like that if you have enough people.
Yeah. What do you strive for when you have everything?
He's going to reach the point where he slips into depression, I think. But for now, he's happy because he gets to play whatever he wants to be. Because they have to.
Well, one of the best examples that I've seen, and I caught it myself, that Vince Gilligan is actually saying something about Marxism and communism with some of the premise with how this works, and I kind of get it. I kind of get what he's doing there, but I've seen other people make that correlation as well. But I don't think overall that's an important point that's being made. I think that it just happens to be a point that's made, is that like anything like this that is about the survival of its central system belief is to keep going. But it does talk about this thing because the revolution to destruction is the fact it's the same thing with socialism or communism, which is, I always refer to it as the wheel of cheese, which is you have the money to make this giant wheel of cheese for everybody to feed on. But without a constant income of ways to afford to keep making cheese, once that wheel of cheese is gone, it's gone. And that is the basic principle of what this show is. The wheel of cheese is gone, everyone dies. And that's the very simple statement of this show. It's a countdown to annihilation. And what I said, though, to Anima about 2 weeks ago was that what would be interesting is if the humans, the 12, or as they decrease in numbers, can get robots working for them that can knock apples off of trees, just as a general idea, they could eat. They would never starve. They would have robots that do that for them. So therefore, they're not doing anything against their will. A machine is doing it for them, getting them the food.
But programming the robot would be...
It would be up to the humans to do that, the ones that aren't altered.
The humans that are left are not very smart. I thought that they were going to have one brainiac.
Oh, they're fucking
in
assholes.
The bunch. Oh, actually, but what's his name?
He's the smartest.
Manusos and her. They're the only two smart ones.
Yeah, because he's basically teaching himself physics once he gets to Albuquerque.
He reminds me a lot of Robert Neville in the I Am Legend book. Because that's one of the things they kind of over a lot of the adaptations is that he's teaching himself
how he had to learn. He had to
else.
learn to survive, and he had to learn all these different things. He's just like that character. But there is a villain in this show. Has anybody figured out who it is yet? I think I have.
Paxma?
Yep.
Or Laxma?
Yep.
Lakshmi.
He's the villain.
Lakshmi?
He's a villain.
Oh, no. Lakshmi is the female.
I'm talking about the mom.
Oh, yeah, no. She's not. No, okay. the Indian dude in Vegas.
Kubo.
I believe that right there. That guy right there, I believe to be the villain in the show.
Well, he knows more than all the others, so he's clearly an accomplice of some sort.
Yeah, he's more aware of what's going on. They trust him because he's playing the system. The only thing is he willing to allow them to infect him? I don't think so. And I think that's where he's going to be presented as a villain in this story, is that he uses them to do what he wants, and he may perceive other people not infected as threats.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. I mean, there was a lot of people working on it, so could it be possible that he was one of the people that worked on it, figured it out, and he only made like a vaccine against it for himself?
Now, just to show you, with the girl down there in, was it Peru? I believe they were in Peru. the Peruvian girl. And you notice that the minute we love you, spending all this time with her, and the minute she's infected, they all go wandering off away from each other.
Yeah, that's just keeping the act up as long as
ruse.
she's still an individuum. The moment that stops, the act drops. And it's scary.
Yeah. I mean, the world,
according to Zax, Whitey is the problem.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Clearly, the villain in this show is the character Whitey from Me, Myself, and Irene, the albino kid.
Either way, I think this is one of the most pivotal scenes for the entire story because it's one of the only
right here?
flashbacks to it. And like, why are they showing like the Aurora Borealis and a bunch of these other things? They don't do this in any of the other episodes.
This is, when you see something like this, every single moment in this scene is important to what's going to be happening down the line. You will get payoffs to everything in this scene. And that's just the way Vince writes.
But so far, the payoff we got is that they can get her DNA without her consent because they have her eggs.
They have her eggs, and well, what they can do is create a new, baby, and then extract the DNA from the hip of
which
the
led to the theories that Sosha is pregnant when she returns. But
Well,
no
they don't
way on
need-
earth you don't get pregnant so fast and show so fast, like within weeks.
You
So,
don't need a baby to get stem cells. They can just take her
Yeah.
eggs and turn them into.
Well, the problem is that with the eggs, there's only certain kinds of stem cells, and that's problematic. That's why if you create a child, the maternal stem cells are in the child, and that's when it becomes easier to work with the stem cells from a human than it is from the eggs.
But easier doesn't matter to them. They can, so they will do it. They don't need to
'cause
create babies.
Well, they
There's another way.
literally have the greatest medical minds in the world that are still alive,
Exactly.
helping them. What's that, Bumpy? With them walking away from the indigenous community, could be argued that the virus is deceptive. No, that's exactly what we're saying, Bumpy. That's exactly, because the moment she's infected, none of that fucking mattered anymore.
They got
They're
what they
only
wanted.
keeping up the act until she was changed. And by the way, I want to point out again, the transition is violent. That's because the body is resisting it. And I believe your id is resisting it. And that's what's happening there. And that's why when Manusos leans down and starts talking to, what was his name? Richard, or the guy that he screamed at and
I
caused him
forgot.
to go into a seizure.
Oh, I
He
don't
whispers in the ear, I know you're still in there. I know you can hear me. Come out. We will help you. We will help you come out. And I'm like, holy shit. That was one of my favorite. I got fucking goosebumps just now talking about that. That
But
moment.
You know what I
already-
think is going to eventually happen? I think they're eventually going to have to figure out a way to kind of disconnect Zosha temporarily at certain points. So she's going to be the double agent.
That's what she almost
She did.
managed when she made her talk about her Sosha's individual memories. She kind of was about to disconnect from the hype, and you see her look to the side. That's when they reconnect.
She
her.
was disconnected at the hospital when
That
she
too.
drugged her. When she drugged her, she was becoming disconnected, and the hive panicked, and that's what induced the heart attack. She wasn't having a heart attack from being disconnected. She was having the heart attack because those that were being disconnected from her began to panic about her disconnection. They're dangerous, and they don't want to admit to it. Because again, when this thing takes over, it's violent, reminiscent of The Thing. When it took over, it was done violently rather than passively, even though it could be done passively, but it took longer. But when you, the alien, because people go, we've never seen what The Thing looks like. I said, the fuck you haven't. It's a single cell. The little tiny cell, that is The Thing. Each one of those cells is a thing. That's what it looks like. It's a fucking little corpuscle that floats around in your bloodstream, infecting other corpuscles and changing it. cell by cell.
By the
And
way,
that's
speaking of the
why that
thing,
shit was scary.
is it me or does the countdown that they do and count up remind me a lot of the whole, 3,000 whatever hours till infection? Remember in the thing with Blair when he has the little
when he sets a
amount of
countdown
time.
clock to, if it reaches society, this is how long it'll take to completely infect society. Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of that, and then it's a neat way of doing it after because it gives a central point, almost like a year zero.
And the one big difference is this isn't an alien. This is them showing us a DNA structure that we fucking do instead of being smart about it and just like, let's read this before we start fucking around with it in a lab. And then they fucking do it and they infect some rats to see what happens. And then it all goes downhill from there. I mean, it just takes long. One fucking night. One night is all it took.
Yeah, I would have required everyone to be super supervised, and there would literally have been flamethrowers to just burn everything to the ground if something went wrong with that. That's like the level I go to. Don't get me wrong, level 4 biocontainment facility is not a bad idea, but for how you don't know what it is, and it's from space, they still didn't take the right precautions.
There were a few security steps that were skipped.
Yeah,
for the purposes
without a
of the
doubt.
TV show, which I'm
let's
Yeah,
we got to move this story along. But wait, wouldn't they? No, we got to keep going. It's Roger Corman's way of
one thing about this whole thing starting: the rat bit her, and then the infection between the humans is through kissing. I found that interesting too.
Also,
It's
I want
saliva.
to point out that they keep saying that they can't force themselves on Carol and the others, but I'm like, where is this morality coming from? Because you forced your way onto humans to begin with.
Yeah.
The minute
they
you
literally
have an infected
chemtrailed
person,
everyone.
it's like there's no permission given. Like, what are you talking about? Permission? That's a weird thing in the show that bothers me, that they say that, and yet, like the first infection, the initial infection, nobody asked for that.
No
what
consent.
Are you talking about?
But now all of
No
a sudden they
consent
can't do
given.
anything without consent. That's weird.
I'm sure
That's
we'll find
why
out more
I'm
about
telling
it.
you, they're not aliens. They're alien to us because they've been altered, but they're still humans. So now that they've been altered, they now have this like fucking rule they can't go past.
No, what's alien is the signal that makes them into a hive mind. That's sent by some alien so far away that we're never going to meet them.
No, that what's going on Earth is earthbound.
Yeah.
That's all earthbound. The way they
But caused
communicate
by
with each other.
Caused by a signal sent by some alien civilization or whatever.
A signal
that's so
that they
far
were
away.
taught to use.
Yeah.
It's a simple radio signal. It's a local event. It's no signal coming from space. This is an earthbound signal. Only the humans are interacting in that hive.
The RNA sequence is not something that we currently had. Like basically the invention that caused it came from space. They just broke it down into the RNA sequence and sent it to us. And we're like, oh, we can build this.
Yep. We get it. And without consent, the human being is altered, violently altered, because what's happening is it's taking over who you are, and your body is trying to reject it and can't win.
Unless you're
And
immune
that's
to the
scary.
original virus. Because the first infection is the virus that spreads, and then once the whole population, save for those 13, are infected, then they are open to that signal to make them join into the hive mind.
Which I know you know what I'm talking about with this, Six, is that with diseases, there's always going to be a percentage of humanity that is either immune to it or is, what is it? I forgot the term for that.
It's asymptomatic carrier.
Asymptomatic carrier. And there's always going to be a percentage of people with viruses that happens with, because of there's so many people don't understand. There's tons of mutations in life, in human life. And like one of the weirdest ones deals with a little leaf we use for salsa. You know, where there's a large number of people that it tastes like soap.
Oh, cilantro.
Cilantro. The fucking soap burp. I hate it.
Yep. And then but we're the mutation that can eat it. We're the mutation. We have mutated to where we can eat cilantro and not taste soap. And it's just sort of like that. In my opinion, I think that's the closest thing to explaining what's going on with the viruses out there.
That's
the way
another
that
good one,
we have,
Gerry. I like that.
I read
Two
books
in the same
damn it.
show.
Well, peppers are kind of the same thing. If you think about the whole reason spices developed is that we don't want things eating us, so we're going to make it so it has this extreme burning sensation when anything does chomp on us, so it leaves us alone. And we come along and go, wait, that's great.
That explains why so many Italians survive in the wild, because they all taste like garlic.
Oh my God.
That's racist.
That's racist.
Yeah. Also, every Italian is going to beat you out the door with a big wooden spoon for saying that, because they don't use garlic in all their cooking. That's a myth.
Well, I had that nun that used to hit me all the time saying, "Testadora, escuch." And I'm like, I don't know what you're saying to me. I don't like it. Especially when you, with every, letter you enunciate, you hit me.
No, it's pasta they put in everything. Even pasta.
Oh, wait. I was getting ready to read. In the frequency of targeting humans and focused on Earth, I'm guessing they found us via one of our... I don't think they found us at all. I'm assuming that culture's been dead for a long
This
time.
is way
I think
bigger.
they just
300 million light years away.
Yeah.
So
this has been traveling through space, and now we're getting ready to do the exact same thing. But the one thing they point out in the show is that they've learned things about how this interacts with humans. And so they're fixing it before they send it. So they're modifying the signal and they're going to resubmit it. So this is apparently something that goes on, because we don't know if Kepler 22b is the origin of this fucking thing. It may have been infected as well. And it's a water world. We know that. It's like, what were these species like there? And they lived underwater. It's like, how did they work labs and such underwater? It's like, it's really
How would they
bizarre.
manage to transmit a signal like that? How would they manage to build a satellite dish or whatever? How did they have?
Well, I'm
technology in the
assuming
water
they
planet?
turned the water into a source to submit. Why does that guy look like Bon Jovi?
Oh, by the way, that is that's the mayor of Albuquerque. That is the actual mayor of Albuquerque.
Is it really?
Why
Yes.
does it look like John Bon Jovi?
He
That's
might
bizarre.
be. He is in the collective too now. He's still alive. You know that?
Yeah.
He's one of them.
In the planet that we received the signal from, that might be the 100th planet. There might be 100 degrees of separation.
Yeah, this could have been going on for billions of years. Exactly. Yeah. In the vastness of the universe, it's hard to tell, and that's one of the things that other channel that Anima and I listened to was brought up by her, is that we don't know, were they the first? They may not have been the first. They may have been infected as well, and they may be dead by now, and I found that really fucking interesting. But another person posed the question, what if this is only part of a signal? That maybe there was more that we didn't receive, that is not only beware of this signal, like it's a warning, and then show, fight this signal with this signal. And that's something else that could end up coming down the line. That there's more to the signal than what we got.
There's a lot of ways this series could go.
Clay says I need new glasses.
But no, the mayor's name is Timothy Keller. You can look him up.
I liked the guy in the bicycle shorts.
That weird dude, he looks like a Pat. Like,
I thought he was
a guy
pretty
or a
cool.
girl.
The glasses one?
Girl?
Yeah.
I'm Pat.
It was weird.
You remember Pat? 6, you remember
It's
Pat?
Pat. I remember Pat.
It's Pat. It's like, and they put out a movie. It was a terrible movie, but I still laughed at some of it. It
was a terrible movie.
Are you a guy or a girl? I gotta know. That's not an answer.
By the way,
Charles Rocket loses his mind in the movie over it. And in real life, he offed himself. And,
oh my God.
Somebody said, do you think that Pat caused him that not knowing? And I'm like, no, shut up, dude. No, it's not funny. Please don't laugh at that.
What were you saying, Shenotski?
Oh, I think, well, they can't lie. They can get away with technicalities because they do that a lot. Where
well, it's called the lie of omission.
Answering, or they'll give a very vague answer,
or they won't give an answer at all. And that's the lie of omission. So they can lie. They just can't directly lie to, like if you ask them a direct question, they'll either avoid answering, say, I really don't feel comfortable answering that, or we don't feel comfortable answering that, or they intentionally leave that out, which is the lie of omission. So they absolutely are dishonest.
Yeah, they'll do, like, if you ask somebody, oh, how was your day today? Well, I went to the grocery store and I had a flat tire. Well, that's telling me the acts of the day. That's not saying how are you doing, but they'll answer questions like that without answering.
Yeah, but the fact is that sometimes they don't answer a question. No answer is an answer too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what she figures out.
Daryl, this is exactly what I was talking about a minute ago. This is exactly what I was talking about. That we know one part of the signal, but was that everything? Like maybe there's more to that signal coming, but now it's too late. So yeah, it seems to me if you're going to send a signal out, send the warning with the cure before sending the virus itself. Just in case.
Maybe they want a Thanos where it's like, if you're advanced enough, you're probably getting an overpopulation. So we're going to curtail your population for you.
How would you be able to send a warning, Gerry? If you've been united, you're a hive mind, and your only purpose is to survive long enough to complete the satellite mission, send the signal on.
You don't know if it was a hive mind that sent that signal. We don't know. We don't know. We're assuming.
Now it goes from planet to planet, turning them into a hive mind to send the signal on. There's no way to send a warning with that.
Well, one of the theories, you were there during that discussion, was what if this was only part of the signal? And I'm like, well, if you're going, my whole point was, if you're going to send a warning, don't send it after you sent the disease.
Yeah.
Send the information first and then the information about the disease. So I don't think that's what it is, because you would have done it the other way. You wouldn't have sent the virus first and then the cure. That would just be stupid.
It's possible they might have sent a different band and we only got part of the message. So
that's the other thing.
Don't trust anything that has this particular thing. And they only saw the 4 bands.
Right.
So they missed part of the message. And there's a lot of ways this whole thing could play out and why it's going on. And we'll probably find out as it goes along.
I hate that we have to wait so long.
That's ridiculous. 2 years.
We have to wait until next year.
And saying that they're not in a rush to write season 2 is like a fuck you to the fans. Like, come on. Don't do that to us.
I think TV is too pampered now. Like, I'm not saying it should be the days of like where it was the 90s and Star Trek The Next Generation, you do 24 episodes a year, because basically it's basically an episode every 2 weeks, which is absurdly hard to do. But if you're gonna have a 2 or 3 year thing, why are you 8 episodes? That's
it. That's exactly it. They're doing 8 episodes
because
in 2 years. What the fuck?
You can't, because what did it used to be, like 20, 24 episodes in a season, like back in the day?
Oh, wait. When I was a kid, it was 32.
But see, people don't have, binge watch. That was not a phrase 20, 30 years ago. But if people are going to, it's doable. You can binge watch a season of 8 episodes in a weekend. Oh, I binge watched Pluribus
in a day. Weekend.
But yeah, if you're really a couch potato, but like you couldn't do that with, TV shows back in the day. And I think that people want, they're used to the short form content. And so that expands to the TV shows. They only want, just kind of like blocks of a story.
Here's the
Well,
thing.
I will say that with an hour-long programming, I'm more forgiving for shorter seasons because you're getting almost 2 hours or an hour to 2 hours of programming. That's okay with me. But when you have like TV shows like Star Trek that's under an hour, like 45 minutes usually, with commercial breaks, I expect more with Star Trek. And Next Generation. What was it with Next Generation? 27 a season, I think, with Next Gen. But before that, it was 32 back with the original series, which was standard because you would basically play a season and then you would show repeats for a season and then new season would start at the end of that. And it was a perfect cycle.
But there were standalone episodes.
Yeah. And somebody tried to use the argument. He goes, well, even with Star Trek, they had some episodes that were great. And I'm like, that's not the point, you dumb motherfucker. What makes Star Trek so beloved is the characters. And the more time you spend with those characters, even in the not greatly written episodes, you're still loving those characters. And you begin to embrace Bones, Spock, and Kirk. The holy trinity of Star Trek. It became that because there were so many episodes. You grew to love their relationship, even on the crappier episodes. But like pizza, even when it was not a great Star Trek episode, it was still Star Trek. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with pizza.
One of the main differences is post-production. That was probably almost non-existent back then. And it's the biggest part of any production today is the post-production. But taking 2 years for 8 episodes is ridiculous.
That to me is the absurd part because their technology is better than ever. Like the way just Photoshop alone, what that enabled you to do, like turnaround speed, compositing, everything way faster. Like the composite shots in the original Star Trek, those were fucking expensive to do because you had to chemically treat that shit. You had to get the black plating right and camera exposure. Now a 5-year-old could like drop something into Photoshop, get the same result, if not better.
Yeah. Oh wait, did I just see something about Perry Mason? Somebody asked something about Perry Mason. I thought I saw it.
Perry Mason had 100. Didn't Perry Mason have like 100 per season?
No, not that many. No, it was close to 40. 39 to 40, right in that area per season. And again, it was to play throughout half a year and then repeat for the other half and then start the next season. So that's how it's supposed to work. Tuning in late. Hi, John. In part because I have seen this show and was reading up on it. Has anyone mentioned the connection between the title of the show in 1984? I don't know if it plays on that or not. I got to be honest.
I don't see a connection there, to be honest.
I don't. It could just about be any reason why he picked the numbers, like the 13 original colonies. I don't know. There could be all sorts of reasons. What I do understand is it's based on what's that?
Is it 13 with Carol?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, how many followers?
12 tribes.
Like
it was
12
disciples for the 12 tribes. Right.
I think it's probably more related to, in many superstitions, 13 is a bad number.
Mm. Yep. Oh, and original Star Trek, 29 episodes per season 1, season 2 is 26, and season 3 is 24.
I thought there was more.
There's 70 episodes, as I recall.
79. At least according to internet, usually pretty good about episode count.
Well, it's just the right amount to get what do you call it? Repeats. What's it called?
Syndication. Yeah, it was what I think the magic number was like 75, 74 for syndication. Because then you could do it every
day.
That
they count the original pilot, and so it's 80 episodes.
If you count the pilots, it'd be about 81 then, wouldn't it?
No, it's 80. 79, and then they included the original pilot, so now it's 80.
Well, yeah, wasn't there 2 pilots for Star Trek?
Yeah, but it's counted. The second one is counted in the season.
Oh, okay.
It's part of the season. So yeah, 29 episodes, season 1, which includes the cage, which they would split up into 2 separate episodes with the menagerie, and then in season 2, they have 26 episodes, and then season 3, it should be just like you said, about 24.
Welcome to ADD Theater.
Yeah.
Ecto Mason says you forgot to carry the 3.
Oh yeah, real quick with it. I do love that they actually do the thing of where she looks on the address of the packaging and then looks at the address. Like there's a very logical A, B to C for how she gets there. Because a lesser writer would just have like she would follow it or something like that.
Let's see. E.C. Thomason, I believe so. I've heard. What did Eclay say?
I put that one up for a reason.
Oh, they are white liars like lawyers. It's all about how they phrase it. Yeah, exactly. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, from a certain perspective, it's like, fuck you, you lying prick. You don't kill my daddy. Cut his arms and legs off.
Yeah, from a certain point of view, you're full of shit. Oh, there's the Vince Gilligan cameo.
Oh, the head.
Oh, yeah. I think
Did you see what Ostain said, Gerry?
What?
I'm putting it up again. This is Ostain theory with the 13.
Yeah, that's what I said. And everybody just ignored me because I only say 2 clever things a show.
Yeah, you're maxed out.
On a good day.
You are DUN down.
I said I do believe with the name Pluribus that 13 represents the 13 colonies. But it could also mean, the 12 apostles and the 12 tribes, and that she's the odd one out. But now not, because the Peruvian girl is knocked that number back down to 12.
I was surprised the most merciful person in the world is a lesbian.
That's funny if you think about it. Because, look, I've got a lot of gay friends, okay? And all of my gay male friends have always said, never invite a lesbian to a party. And I said, why? And he goes, well, first of all, if it's a gay party, we like a lot of guys there. The last thing you want is any feminists there to ruin it, because they will. It's like, oh my God. And I'm serious. This has been told to me by multiple fucking gay friends of mine, because nobody can throw a party like a gay man. I'm serious. Best parties I've ever been to.
Oh my gosh.
And it was nice being on You Too Well, Eston.
Hey, it's a compliment. Yeah, this scene, like his whole fake life of having these women playing a part.
Yeah, he does have a little shock moment though when the old woman prepares to disrobe and jump into the pool with him, and that's the moment where she shows up. So they all have to get out of there because they are avoiding her. He's like, "Who got lucky?" Because she doesn't understand that her body is not what he wants. She's just one more woman for him. I found that funny.
Well, yeah, like you look at it. They can't create, and there's some people who say that this is a metaphor for AI, and Vince says like I didn't intend that way, but yeah, you could totally see the series that way. because if you look at it in terms of AI, yeah, they can't create anything. All they have is all the information that already existed.
Right. I don't remember it being 12 Merry Men. Hey, it's John Cena telling us that eating people is okay.
He should have done it in Chinese and there have been subtitles. But
Yeah.
Jean Carey.
The thing that's interesting is, like, even as we went along, we were kind of guessing what was coming next. And I think we hit pretty close to the mark with each episode with what was going to happen next.
Well, this was one of those things where it was going, like, when was it? The second episode when they're talking about, like, we don't harm, we don't kill anything. I'm going, wait, is everyone just going to starve to death then? And then it was like, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what, hence the whole countdown to oblivion. It's like you can, like, maintain robots that are created for you that go do these things for you, like pick fucking trees and shit. Like, come on,
Gerry, it's counting up the counts from the infection point where everyone is infected.
Yep.
But
it's counting up, and I think it's just there for the viewers to know how long we've been going on.
A count
just jump in time
is based on its perspective of whether it's up or down.
The numbers are going up.
Yeah,
the
it's
count
doesn't
counting.
matter, because if you're in the future or thinking of a future date, it is a countdown to that moment of where it's going.
We don't know that though. It's just counting the days since infection, since the joining.
It's a good tool for letting us know how long it's been going on, but do they give a specific date of exactly when it happens? It seems like it's either summer.
They guesstimated it was going to be 10 years at one point.
Like 10 years ago?
No, 10 years in the future. 10 years in the future,
Oh, okay.
all life will end, is what they were guessing.
Because they run out of resources. Because they don't make new babies. So at some point, the dead bodies will get less and less and less.
Yeah,
so
they're not allowed to.
Disappear.
They're not allowed to harvest. They can only eat what has fallen on the ground, which is crazy. That's fuck.
Well, and they can't make new babies, so
no,
there's not an endless supply of corpses in the future. It's going to get less and less.
Are the babies in the womb tied to the hive mind already through the mother?
The people who were pregnant at the moment of the joining, yes, these babies are going to be born and be joined, but there's no new babies are going to be because they're not intimate.
They're not procreating.
But what about Las Vegas guy and his Mary?
Maybe because
he might be impregnating some women. I don't know. I don't know if they take the pill. Like, I don't know what their perception of that is.
Because that would be against their survival, creating more humans.
It's probably, they probably have a limit. Like they would go to a certain point playing whatever he wants them to play, but there's a line where they won't go over. And that's probably sex. Because it's
I'm assuming he's having sex with them.
Yeah. I mean, that's why he was asking permission with Zosha for. It's like, hey, you mind if I just take your woman and have my way with her? You're okay with that, right?
That's gross. That made me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, it is. Like, he's not a good person.
Yeah.
I make the argument with this guy here, Mimosa, is that he is in essence... Yeah, Mimosa. Why do
I
sorry.
What are you drinking, Shenotski?
Let's call him that.
Down.
He's champagne and orange juice in the morning. That's what he is.
But yes, he is basically probably the most heroic character in the entire thing because he's willing he has an ethical line he will not cross. Though I think the whole point with it is that he's too stubborn, like even more so than Carol. So I think it's going to eventually happen is he's going to
it is
Carol
the
up.
unstoppable force meeting an immovable force. That's the two of them.
Yep.
And they're going to have to find their common ground in order to work together, which we see them moving towards with the final episode.
Yeah. I think that he's eventually is going to go, but at the point like where he's changed Carol enough to where like she's going to take on a bunch of his traits.
But that's what happens in the last episode. Because she goes away with Sosha and they travel the world and everything. And then she finds out that Sosha has been playing her and they're working on getting her to join. That's when when she goes back home, has Sosha fly her back home too. With that huge crate and tells Manusos, you win. We saved the world.
I think Mimosa is going to end up throwing himself on the sword at some point to save Carol, and he's going to die.
You're going to just keep calling him that, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I
like it. Daryl has a question here, which is easy to answer, but I'll lay it out here for all of you guys. Would any infected person that goes into labor cause the group mind to seize? And we actually have an answer to that in the show.
That is no. That's not how it works. They're going to feel it, but it's not going to affect them that much.
They feel the emotions and the thoughts. What they don't feel is the physical sensation. They're not physically impacted.
But they're going to know when it's going to happen. They're going to know when it's starting because they're all connected. So they will be prepared. And they can shield themselves to a certain extent.
Oh man, this is probably the most depressing scene in the entire thing. Because she's willing to just fucking die with those fireworks.
I don't think that's even plays into it. No, buddy. This is something else, though.
You do read communism into it, though, Gerry.
No, communism definitely plays into it, which is the basic concept of the wheel of cheese, which is, communism wants to tout. We've got the biggest wheel of cheese. Come consume with us, sharing it equally. And then when that thing's gone, the people in charge still have their own wheels of cheese, but that big wheel of cheese is gone for everybody else. And that's when you end up in lines for food and toilet paper and shit like that.
Yeah, it is literally the ultimate form of collectivism. Literally.
Yep. Not figuratively?
Literally, figuratively.
Collectively.
It is figuratively literal.
That's giving me a headache.
Well, I hope you enjoy it, Daryl, because I think it's a worthwhile series. I consider it one of the best science fiction shows I've seen on TV in a long time. Like straight up science fiction.
Yeah, because it gets you to think, which is what you really want out of sci-fi. It could apply to a lot of things. And even the creator's going, I'm not going to tell you what to think about this. I'm just going to tell you the story. And it's up to you to figure it out. And not in a pretentious asshole way, but in I'm not about to go, oh, yes, it's totally a right-wing story, how left-wingism is evil, because that's just going to piss off the people on the left wing.
I think that just plays into it slightly because there's comparisons. I get that. But the fact is they're really not communists because they're different, because there's something else going on here, which is the alien element of it. I've only seen one other thing with this guy. And this guy is a great fucking actor. And I'm looking at him in this fucking MG, and that is the worst car to try to drive around the equator. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That car was designed for England countryside driving.
Yes, but it's his. He can't just take whatever because it's not owned by anyone anymore, because this is temporary to him.
Not the point. The point is that's the worst one to fucking drive in.
A
car that is designed for short distances in climates like England. I told you I had a TR7, and we lived in California. Alicia and I, we had our TR7, and we had to get rid of that car. That thing was conking out on us constantly in that California drive, and it's not designed for California.
Yeah, I like the actor, Mimosa.
Oh yeah, Yeah, he's great.
You know what's really fantastic? I found a video where they do an interview. Him, Carol, and the actress that plays Sosha, and to hear him talk and interact with those two, it was just wholesome. There's no other word for
I'm
it.
going to look for some interviews with him.
The way they talk about the interaction between their characters, they kind of sort of turn to the characters, but minus the accents. It's fun. They really love doing it too, which I always enjoy.
What's this? It says, I've enjoyed it and I blame Six for it.
Yes, I wanted to do a deep dive into this show and do like an episode by episode review on my channel, and I wanted Daryl. I had asked Daryl if he had watched
we don't know if
he could join me with it, and I still might do an episode by episode deep dive since we have another year before we're going to get anywhere.
Well,
and I just absolutely love the show.
Invite us, but I can't guarantee we'll be there for every show, because that's why we didn't do it, because we weren't sure we could commit to doing every episode.
Yeah,
but we wanted to promote the show and tell people about it.
But I stream like never. I've done 2 live streams, and so it would be probably like 1 episode a month, because I don't have my work schedule, makes it so I can't do like a Friday afternoon show every Friday. I can't do that. I could do every other.
See, that's something that Anima and I might be able to commit to, as long as it's not conflicting with one of our shows already planned.
Oh, for sure.
Let's see, what do we got here? Questioning whether it makes sense to be as ruthless as Manu says when freedom comes at the heavy cost. Well, I got to tell you, he absolutely does not see them as humans anymore. But he learns, because of what happens at Carol's, that they are still humans. And when he realizes that, when he conks him out that last time and leans in, and he sees that the radio signal is jamming around the body, he understands they are still humans. They're still in there. And that's when he gets his idea. And so he agrees. We save the world.
Well, his initial idea is they've been taken over because they sent his mom with the food, and she's all nice, and he tells her to her face, "You're not my mother," because she was a bitch. So he knows the people are still there, like physically, but they've been taken over. But he wants to believe that there's a way for them to come back. This is why he insists on paying everything and keeps telling them, "You're not to give me anything because you don't own it. You stole it."
Yeah, exactly.
The whole thing that's driving him is the world can be saved. We can reverse this. We can push them out and get the people back.
And that's one of the good things that he's been doing, is he's been looking at these signals, and he finally finds that one. And by the way, Daryl, the thing I love most about you is your really amazing grammar.
I'm be there, yeah. I'm not even a native speaker, but dude.
I know Daryl Brewer, so it's cool. We're cool.
I thought I misread that, to be honest, because I'm really getting tired here. But no, it's really
Gerry, you've made 2 good points today, and you made me laugh heartily enough to cough.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
I win. I did it. Okay, there's a film reference. Anybody know that reference? Anybody?
What film? What? Say
that reference. I did it. I did it. I did it. Okay, that is the Dreamcatcher, and he's the mentally retarded character. That's their friend that is actually somehow connected to the alien intelligence, and he's just mentally handicapped. And I love that character. But I got to tell you, Stephen King is a terrible writer, and he creates such interesting characters in such terrible stories. And so I hoped when the movie came out, it would be better than the movie. It was actually worse, and which I didn't think was possible. But that's a running gag between me and one of my best friends, that like when we succeeded at something, we go, "I did it." I like certain things from Stephen King. To me, the virus is naive, and that I don't think I don't think it has sentience of any kind.
No.
What it does is it impacts humans a specific way, and so therefore they're naive. They become naive, but at the same time, they're conniving.
That I totally agree with this point, though, because I thought the same thing when he calls her a bitch. Like, well, why is she the one who's been bringing him meals?
Because
they know she was
used
a bitch
to be his
him.
mother. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them. The same way, I mean, they assimilated all these criminals and horrible people, but they don't commit crimes anymore because it doesn't matter to them.
Right,
Emotions
but
like that.
Mimosa knows that his mother was a bitch.
I know.
And so why would he would?
But
why
the Hive doesn't
favorably?
care. All they care is the connection that she used to be his mother. She gave birth to him. There must be something. The fact that she tortured him his whole life. These things don't matter to them. That's how they eliminated crime. Because they are all equal now.
Now, there's also
Hatred
something
it doesn't exist.
There's something very Zen Taoist too about the aliens. Now, I've always prescribed and subscribed to Taoism and a little bit of Nietzscheism, and in that because my philosophy, my personal philosophical outlook on life is Stoicism. And Stoicism has been talked about by a lot of cultures, from Lao Tse with Taoism, and from Nietzsche even talks about it, where you see this, and this is another example of that sort of thing where you see these people just their homes where they could go and sleep, but they're all going to commune in this fucking giant gymnasium, and don't give a shit. They don't care,
and they all sleep on the same side.
Yeah, it's really fucking weird scene, because this is the only non-communist thing that I see in a lot of their behavior, where with communism, socialism, Marxism, it's about collectivism. This is like the opposite. This is like the withoutism. Like, we don't need anything, just a place to lie down with each other and commune and go to sleep. And it's like, that's fucking weird. But I like it. It's sort of like, and what I like about this scene too is that she could leave, but she ends up staying there to sleep with Zosha because
she's lonely.
She has real feelings for her. Whereas this is something we talk about in relationships. And I know you know this term, 6 is, what's it called? It's reflect. It has to do with reflecting.
Docking?
No, wait, talking. Fucking shut up. Okay, single grossest thing said today was not by me.
Those are rookie numbers, Gerry.
No, it's mirroring. When people look at the other person, and instead of seeing the person, they get their own emotions reflected back at them. It's their emotions,
Reflecting?
their feelings. It has to do with reflection. And I forget the term. It's a psychological term where it's like a mirror. You're reflecting your own feelings back at yourself with that person. And so often that leads you astray in relationships where down the line you begin to really see that person and you're like, oh, you're nothing like what I thought. Well, that's because you were superimposing your emotions on the other person, that they felt the same way about you, but those were actually your feelings you were doing. And you kind of get that with this Zosha relationship. But the thing is, though, there is something here, but we don't know what it really is, because is that Zosha, or is that her version of Zosha that loves her? Because she cares about her. But when she opens up about who she really is and starts talking about her childhood, her favorite flavor of ice cream, and she no longer speaks in third person, she speaks in first person. That is the only time in this show where we really see who Zosha is. And that scares the shit out of the Hive.
I think Zosha,
they shut it down.
With interacting with Carol, Zosha might have turned into something
Thank you.
between.
Projection. There it is. Projection. Thank you, E-Clay.
Zosha can relate to both sides, I think.
How many times, E-Clay, have you, Gambit or Alpha, fucking known exactly what I was talking about and said the word I was looking for? I appreciate that, man.
It's like you guys are a hive mind.
Well,
A high mind.
Exactly.
oh fuck, I've got to go. I can't do this show anymore. I'm scared.
Well, and Zosha has, and everybody in the hive, in the joining, has the top psychologists in their head telling them how to react to somebody so that they know what Carol wants. They know what because Carol's girlfriend, her mind is part of that, so that you can respond they're going to respond in a way that Carol will respond. They're going to react in a way that Carol will respond to, and what Carol wants.
And they know what she'll respond to. Exactly. They know what she's going to. But by the way, that reminds me of a classic story, Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yeah.
When he would hide in the bushes, Cyrano would hide and speak the words that the boy needed to say but didn't know how to say to the girl.
He wrote the love
Roxanne.
letters for him. Yeah.
When it was actually his own personal love for her that he was expressing, Cyrano. And it's not until it's too late, he's dying, that she learns that it was his love that she felt.
I had never heard of that tree in the rainforest with those spikes on it. I thought it was something. I thought they made it up for the show.
No, it's real.
It's real. I couldn't believe it. I thought, gosh, that's cool.
Scary, right?
Yeah.
No, that shit's scary as fuck.
Nature's really interesting.
And he impales himself good. It's not just like a scratch. He falls on that thing with his whole back.
Yeah. But that was gross when he was cauterizing his back.
The problem was he's cauterizing the bacteria into his back.
I know.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because it wasn't, or I shouldn't even say cauterize, because it wasn't really bleeding. He was trying to sterilize it, is what they're trying to.
Yeah,
because they warned him.
Work.
They warned him what's going to happen when he stings himself on such a tree. So he works with what he knows and what he thinks might work with it.
He had to do something. But how did he really think he was going to walk through that rainforest?
Yes, he did.
I mean, I'm no geography major, but that would have been a long hike. So thank goodness he fell on that tree and they had to rescue him.
I mean, what works for him is that all the cartels and the bad guys that are hiding out there are gone now, but still it's rough.
Yeah, and I do believe, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's called the chunga tree or chunga plant, something like that.
Chunga? Isn't that a band?
Big chungus. Sorry.
By the way, I looked this up because I wondered if this was a diner that they had found to use for this, but no, they built this diner because this diner is actually based on a real diner that burned down in New Mexico, in Albuquerque. And so I was reading about this going, oh, so the memory she has as a character is based on a place that really existed that burned down. I'm like, that was fucking wow. That I don't know why. That's fucking cool to me.
I know. I agree. I like when they put reality stuff like that in there.
And this reminds me of so many of those cafes that I always liked. Like the one that was used in the movie Pulp Fiction that was in other movies too. They finally tore that down, I think, in 2019, 2020. That diner is gone. Oh, what happened?
I present to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, she's got something.
The Chunga palm. It is real.
Oh, that looks like that shit would hurt.
Right?
Man,
Crazy.
That looks like your legs when you don't share it over the shave it over the weekend.
Oh, how would you know, you caveman?
I don't know. I'm just saying mean things.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I say mean things.
Wow.
Anyway. And by the way, while we have a second, I do want to thank both of you because I saw that Shirley and Vinkman's girl both came up with the same thing, projection. So three of you threw that out there, and I appreciate it. That is what I was looking for, is projection. Because I learned about projection when I was in college, and I started dating a woman who was not all there upstairs. And I noticed she kept projecting. She would do things, but then she would say that I did them. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You did that. And you're like gaslighting me. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're gaslighting me, trying to make me think that I did what you fucking did. Oh, I ran the fuck away from her. Like, good God, that scared the shit out of me. Like really, somebody that's that far gone, I was like, you're dangerous. I got to get away from you. But I got to tell you, I kind of had like a crush on her when she did the show Better Call Saul. There's just something about her as a personality, everything. She's not even like my type, but I love her personality, and she just kills this role as Carol. Just kills it. And you would just like, you meet somebody like that, she is so fucking toxic, but at the same time, she's so fucking brutally honest that I get why you would care about somebody like that. Why her girlfriend, fiance, wife was in love with her. Because like, there's something I like about people like that are that brutal in their honesty. And they might be full of shit, but at least they're trying to be honest with you. Yeah, we're almost at the end of the series right now. I like this moment because she looks out at the grave where her wife is buried, and it's still there, untouched, unvarnished by the wolves.
Well, she had to put all these stone slabs on top of the grave because they were beginning to dig.
Because of the fucking wolves.
And then she painted that lovely wooden sign.
I'm like,
I really like
do you
that.
not know the difference between wolves and coyotes? There's a size difference, you know.
Well, they say it's wolves in the show, so that's what I'm going.
Well, I identified them as wolves. I know the difference. I've had to, I've never hunted wolves, and I don't think I could. But I have hunted coyotes because I know how dangerous they can be to pets, to farm animals.
Some people don't think they're that bad, but boars are freaking terrifying.
I have never run into one in the wild, and I thank God it's never happened because they scare the shit out of me. The only thing I've ever run out into in the middle of the woods is a fucking brown bear. And I got to tell you, that scared the shit out of me. I was taller than that bear, by the way, and it still scared the shit out of me. Yeah, this part just kills me because you see this build up and how loving, and everybody is like, oh, and singing.
We made your favorite meal.
Fuck, man.
Singing all their traditional songs, pretending village life is still going on. At the moment she begins to seizure, done.
Sally, I got to tell you, Kim Wexler on Better Call Saul is one of the best female characters ever created for a TV show.
I feel
and
so
if you've
bad
never
for
seen
her.
the show, watch the show. Better Call Saul. Fuck watching Breaking Bad. You can actually watch that show by itself with never having watched Breaking Bad and really enjoy the shit out of it. God, she's a really good actor. And my assumption is, because for those of you who don't know, Gilligan lives there in Albuquerque area. And he lives right outside Albuquerque. And so he likes to cast, produce his shows down there because he doesn't have to leave home. And there's a lot of studio work down there. People don't know this. There's a real big, large number of actors, filmmakers, and crews that work there in the Albuquerque area. ABQ Studios is an amazing studio. I considered moving down there and going to work for them as a storyboardist.
You know, the really funny part about all this is the only reason all this happened is because of Albuquerque tax breaks. That's why they filmed Breaking Bad
They have
there.
That's right. They have great tax breaks down there. Missouri used to have them.
Is that why they built that set there?
Yeah.
That's why I started Breaking Bad there.
This entire neighborhood here is a set. In fact, the house on the far left of the cul-de-sac, or if you're coming into the cul-de-sac, the one to the immediate right, is the production house. That's where they do a lot of their building and production stuff is in that building. The rest of them are pretty much there for decoration, for the scenes. Boy, he looks like shit. He really does.
The only house that you see the interior of is hers, and then the neighbor's house where she puts manusas in. Sorry, mimosa. All the other houses, you only see the exterior. So of course they would have all their offices in there because that's out in the middle of nowhere.
All right,
So
if we're going to call him Mimosa, we have to find a drink name that sounds close to all names in this fucking movie.
Oh yeah,
And call them that because, like, let's at least I'm OCD, so let's be uniform about how we do this.
hashtag blame Shenotski.
I spread the mimosa virus. What's his name? His name's Mimosa. No, it's not.
Oh,
It is now.
Snort, yeah. Look, I have never had to deal with brown bears. I've only dealt with black bears, and black bears are adorable too. Even the full adult ones. I said the first time I had to kill a bear, I swore I'd never kill another bear. I told you this, Snorty. Remember, you got mad at me. You got mad at me that I killed a bear, and I said, "Yeah, but I swore to never kill one again because I felt like I shot a human being." This is fucking just felt awful.
You killed his cousin.
And by the way, he was delicious, though. I had him as summer sausage. He was really good. Watching Breaking Bad made me want to move to the desert, still trapped in. Look, Sally, I grew up in the desert, and it's not that great. I grew up in Phoenix, and just ugh.
sounds sweaty.
I remember my brother Mike and I swear to God, would go from tree to tree just trying to get out of the sun. And we finally found this one tree because Mom said, out of the house. That meant you're not in the house in the air conditioning anymore. So you're out there trying to find a tree to sit under or a place to go to that's got air conditioning or fans. And I remember this one day we found this tree to sit under, and we're like back to back on this tree, my big brother Mike and me. And all of a sudden I started like getting stung by something, and I jumped up and I was covered in fucking fire ants. And my brother was like wiping them off of me, wiping them off his legs. And man, I tell people, fuck the desert. Fuck it. It doesn't want you to live. The desert doesn't want you to live. The reason you live when you live in the desert is sheer tenacity and, fighting the system. And the system is the desert. The desert does not promote life. It weeds it out. And I like it up here in Missouri. And it's like why I would never go to Austria. It's like two reasons. One, my potential retirement. And two, I could never leave Zoe. She would have to go with me if I went to Austria. And I don't see her doing it.
No.
Even a field, as a person that actually works in them, burying bodies, I have to say that because Martin will bring it up otherwise. Even that has just everything in nature is inherently hostile to every other form of life, including us. People are too fucking pampered.
Some places are more hostile than others. Yes. And I will tell you, outside of the tundra, you will never find a more hostile environment than the desert. One is a desert of ice and the other one is a desert of fucking hot. And everything out there is poisonous, in some way or another.
Look at what Eclay has to say.
Yeah, it's so dry. Oh, yeah. Eclay's playing on the military term called, when you complain about hitting a house that doesn't have any targets in it, you know what that's called? It's called hitting a dry hole.
Oh.
That's a sex
Birds
thing.
of Prey alone, I have seen more guts in...
Thank you, Daryl.
I've seen more guts working in the field due to Birds of Prey than I have in any horror movie. And they'll just casually leave them there. They'll casually decapitate a creature and leave its head on the ground. They don't care.
You remind me of something. That little moment in Beetlejuice when the dad looks out the window and sees a crow tearing something apart, the meat of something on a fence post. And he looks at it and goes, oh. Like, yeah, that's nature. That's nature.
Yep. That's nature. a horrible, murderous, psychopathic bitch who I want to stay away from.
By the way, this is a real ski lodge up there in northern New Mexico. And they used part of it, and then they had a movie set. And I think this is a movie set. I don't know if I don't think it's Aspen. I don't think this is Colorado. I think this is up north in New Mexico, because there are places to ski in New Mexico. Same thing in Arizona. Go to Flagstaff. Go to Snowflake. You can ski. Arizona.
Anyway, this is where she finds out that they've been working behind her back on getting her to join, and it breaks her.
And this is the mirroring of the flashback
with the ex, yeah. And she's heartbroken because she thought she's on a nice getaway with Sosha, and it's just the two of them when all it is buying them time. Because they're close.
By the way, Gambit writes, but with Pluribus, Gilligan reveals that they went through a list of approximately 100 titles for the Apple TV show. Quote, the worst one of all, I can tell you, was Be Kind, Rewind, he says.
Remind.
That's a terrible name.
That's a terrible name.
That Be Kind, Rewind was a fucking movie.
Yeah, isn't that a documentary?
It's Remind. It's Remind.
Yeah.
He said Remind, which I thought, okay. That's a terrible title. Let's see, what do we got here? Carol can save the world from letting the virus contaminate.
The virus is already there.
Yeah.
The thing here is, can she save humanity? And Mimosa thinks that they can. And I think they can. They have to disrupt the signal and separate people from the hive.
And that's where he comes into play, because she already knows that they can be separated, because she almost had Sosha there twice. Once with the drug, and the second time by digging out her individual memories.
Yeah. And by the way, I do want to point out that I'm going to bet part of the plot will be, as the show continues, that if they get somebody to separate, that like with any kind of virus, you build up herd immunity. That that people can't be reinfected once they've been broken. They built up immunity to it. A little muscle inside their body that prevents them from being infected a second time. At least that's how I would write it.
The thing is, though, I mean, the whole world gets infected. You still have the thing where you can take an individual's DNA and design the virus for them. And I think even if they had joined, if you design the virus specifically for them, it might work to reinfect them.
See, I kind of thought part of what was going on is that maybe it was the chemical composition they had, because it seemed that she was completely miserable. Kumbo was probably miserable because he's just a womanizing piece of shit. And Mimosa is, of course, he's an isolationist and everything else. So I'm thinking maybe what was going on, it seems to react strongly to emotions. So she had it, like her and a couple of other people, maybe it was just their emotional pH balance, for lack of a better term. Because when she yells at them, that's when they also gets a reaction. So it's almost like misery kills happiness.
I've got some bad news for you, E-Clay. It works like a virus, because viruses actually impact your RNA, DNA. And some viruses can actually rewrite your DNA. And that's scary shit. So it really acts like a virus, the way this thing works. So I do think that if you are pulled out of this thing, you would immediately build up an immunity to it, too.
Oh, I want to address one of the theories where Mimosa, was on the way to getting connected to them, but he had somehow the means to withdraw. So he felt the pull, but he was able to resist. That's one of the theories out there, and I like it. Because that explains why he's so afraid. He wouldn't even touch the food that they give him. He's so scared to connect with them. He eats dog food in that storage facility where he's the manager.
That is a theory. Just to point this out, this was a fan theory of one of the shows that we watch. And I do like watching 2 programs on theory stuff that deals with this show, where it's going blah, blah, blah. But the rest of them are full of crap. There's only 2, I think, that's worth the crap. And we watch quite a few. And I do like that theory, but we don't know if that's what happened or not with him. We'll
it makes
find
sense
out
though why he's so
next year.
paranoid and why how he got the idea to look for the radio frequency, because he knows what's happening. There's a connection between them. They're communicating somehow, but he managed to pull away in time. So maybe he's not immune. He just got out in time because he somehow had the means to. I don't know.
I have to go. Thank you
Well,
so
it's
much.
the end of the show anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry I can't stay to the end of the slideshow. But thank you so much for letting me come on. I had a lot of fun with you guys.
Of course,
and,
Six. It was good hanging out.
highly recommend this show to everyone. Try it at least. Watch a trailer. Watch the first episode. It is on Apple TV. But I started subscribing to Apple TV because this was recommended to me by Price of Reason.
Well, they've had some other really good shows on Apple TV. Because Monarch is one of them.
Fuck yeah.
When its first 2 seasons, For All Mankind, I liked until after season 2. Then it kind of lost its path and it went off into this really weird, overly political, socio-political stuff that I was like, okay, you're. And I know they had a lot of pressure on them. Shows had a lot of pressure for 3 years to 4 years of making these shows overly woke. And I feel bad for them that we're being forced into this shit. But I kind of expected something better from Apple because they put out woke stuff of its own, and then it makes other shows, which I like. Silo, I like a lot. I enjoy the crap out of the show. Someone told me, well, if you read the books, you won't like it. And I said, then I guess I won't read the books.
Yeah.
Because I like
have to
the
get
show.
back to that one. That's a really good.
And
one.
I like
Thanks,
that
Clay.
chick that the actress that plays her. But Six, get out of here. We'll see you
Yeah,
later.
thank
Thanks
you.
for hanging with us.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you
Good to
so
see
much for joining
Shenotski.
us.
Thanks, Anima. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. I wish we had more stuff like this because, just stuff where it's like you can actually theorize and you're having fun about it and there isn't too much bullshit around it. People go, oh, YouTubers are all about negativity. It's like, no, things have just been really bad lately. And this is a nice little literal sunshine in a cloudy world.
Yeah, that's just it. Amongst all the shit that we get, you discover gems like that. So there is still good TV. You just really need to look for it.
You got to.
That's why we like to point it out. That's why we like to do shows like that, to tell people, hey, check this out. You might like it. It's good.
Yep. So, and that is a problem. What do I watch? And this is the kind of stuff that we do like to talk about. Shows that if you haven't checked out, you're afraid to check out. We're telling you it's worth your time. We think it's worth your time. It's not woke. It's good storytelling. And
it is a slow burn. It is a really slow burn, though. That is the one thing I'll warn people. They really, really take their time.
I'm usually the first one to begin bitching and whining about, especially movies being a slow burn. I had no problem with this show because you get so
I will
many
tell you what
clues
she
along the way.
bitched about. I'll tell you what she bitched about with this one. Is when episodes ended, and she's like, "Oh, it didn't want it to end. That's all we get tonight. We got to wait for another week." Yeah, there we go.
No,
that's what she bitched about.
You get so much food for thought with this episode, with this series, because every episode has so many details. You can watch them 3 times and discover something new. So I don't mind it being slow because it needs to be slow for you to discover it all.
Now, one of the next shows we're going to be talking about, it's actually an older show. And it's one that we just finished, is the 2 films and the 20 episode series of Kolchak, the Night Stalker TV series from the 1970s, 1972, 1973, and the 1975 TV series. And it's a really good show. And it is the show that inspired Chris Carter to create the X-Files. And it is so much fun.
I'm looking forward to that.
Vince work on the Kolchak reboot? I'm trying to remember. Someone from the X-Files did, I remember.
I don't think it was him. I don't think it was Chris or Vince. But yeah, and it surprised me watching this show, Pluribus, that it doesn't politicize certain genders. No, it doesn't care. It doesn't care. What it wants to do is tell you a story, and I like that.
Yeah.
It's a character study. My friend Chris wrote for the Kolchak comic. I think I know the same Chris that you know. I think, because I knew one of the writers for the Kolchak comic.
Let's see.
I wonder if it's the same person.
Okay, Frank Spotnitz, who is Chris Carter's right-hand man, was the showrunner for the Kolchak reboot.
And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. They make him too dramatic a character. And
they made him too hot, too. Like, Kolchak's supposed to be a schlub. That's what makes him endearing.
That's exactly what he is. Good word. I've said it many times. He is a schlub. And just like on the show, how do you spell schlub? And I'm like, oh my God, you're a schlub, and you're not sure how to spell it. It's SCHLUB.
Because it's a Yiddish word. You need to see in there.
So we're going to get out of here, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you guys have a great day today. And do check this series out. Please do. And I look forward to joining Six on her channel to do the episode by episode discussion, because we really love this show.
And if you don't watch Pluribus, you are a schlub.
You're a schlub.
What did you just
Don't
call
be a
it?
schlub. Don't be a schlub.
Watch Pluribus. Don't be a schlub. Watch Pluribus.
Okay.
No, what we'll go into this, E-Clay. When we do the show, we'll probably do it again on a Monday afternoon. We will do a show about Night Stalker, and I'm going to go into what killed that show. And it is exactly what Darren McGavin was complaining about, the monster of the week thing. And they should have done it completely different. They should have gone for 2-episode story arcs.
They should have given him credit for script doctoring all the time.
Yes, he had to rewrite so many of those scripts that he was supposed to be given a producer credit. If they weren't going to pay him, they were supposed to do that, and they didn't. And it's still on IMDb without giving him credit for one or the other. And I've been trying to figure out, as an editor on IMDb, how to get them to agree to let me do this, because I want to change that.
I hope you find a way. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Oh, a fun one with it. Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale did the biker episode.
Yep, episode. And another writer another guy involved with the show was a regular writer later and creator of other shows, David Chase. That was his first job, was doing Kolchak the Night Stalker. It's still a good show. Each episode's still good, but I can see what killed it. You can watch it and see what killed it. And it made me sad, because that show should have gone on for 5 seasons easily if they'd been smart. All right.
Well, Richard Matheson's one of my favorite writers, just for I Am Legend alone.
Well, he didn't do the series. He did the movies. Yeah,
he did the movie, but he's basically, he created the character. He set the basic template they followed after. So,
and Dan Curtis was involved, and he was really good with horror too. And Dan Curtis was not brought back for the series. Some say that was also because there was a beef between him and Darren McGavin, but I tend to think it was penny pinching by the network studio. So, but anyway, we're going to get out of here, guys. Thanks for popping in and hanging out with us. We deeply appreciate it. We'll catch you guys next time. The next time we do a show like this, it will be about Kolchak the Night Stalker. All right. So bye, guys.
Bye. Don't be a schlub.
If you guys didn't hear him at the end, Shenotski asked you not to be a schlub.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Matt Damon.